So let's finalize here. On the search, this keeps bugging me still. So I copied this bug here so that we can start afresh. That's why it's got these dollars over there. But let me remove those dollars now. So I copied this again, this whole div there, and pasted it back here. So let's just put 0 here and 1000. So I decided let's just solve this problem together, because I saw let's investigate, shall we? Maybe this, for the purposes of learning, this can be helpful. So I'm just going to right click on this thing, because earlier when I did the right clicking when we were testing it the first time, we saw an event button there, so which means there are events there. But if I go down on this one and right click, there is no event there, so which means it hasn't been captured by JavaScript. Now the funny thing is that I copied exactly what's here, and for some reason the second one isn't working. So which means either the JavaScript is looking for a very specific ID, and once it gets the first ID, the first instance of that ID, it doesn't look any further. So that could be the issue there. Okay, so what we will do is this. Let's try and investigate this for a bit. I'll go back here. You see the styling has changed. This one has no styling, this one has, but they're exactly the same. So what I want to do is to test this for a second, and let me delete this just for now and save. Just don't close the file. Okay, so now that I've deleted that one, you see that the styling comes back here. So I think I was right. The thing is caused by ID problems. So let me undo this. Now let's see if it's the class. So I'm just going to change these classes, just add text everywhere. I added this class, so I know this one isn't responsible, but these two might be. So I'll save this and see until a point where this styling goes away. Let me refresh. This styling, I mean, on the price. So the styling is still there. This hasn't changed. So which means those two classes are not responsible. So let's undo those two. Let's see this one here. There's a class over here, and I will change that. Let's try that again. Still nothing. So that's not the class. So undo. We'll get to it eventually. So let's see what else is in here. So we have data slider. I mean, this is just data, so I don't think it is. We edited these things, so this is not responsible. Okay, so there's an ID here, SL12, I think. Let's change that one. Let's see what happens. Ah, bingo. So you see, I changed that one and it has moved to this one now. So this one is styled, that one isn't. So which means it has something to do with the style itself here. Okay, oh, the ID, sorry there. So that's SL2. So let's try and change this to 3. Let's see if it will find that and style it differently. Refresh. So that one has worked as usual, but this one hasn't. So this means SL2 has a unique, is that S12 or S12? I can't tell if that's a 1 or a, I think that's a 1. So that's S12, this is S13. Okay, so what I would do is, let's investigate back here. So in here, I want to look for the event. So right click, inspect. Oh, the event is right here. Click on this event. Let's see where these events actually take us. So there's a mouse move event here. Bubbling is there as well. Let me refresh the page just to be sure. I haven't changed anything. Refresh, inspect the element. Okay, that's the one. Click on that. Okay, this event, mouse move, index 28, is it? Oh, that's me who put that there. Okay, that's my event. let's see here. There's another event for the slider. Okay, so there are 3 events, 1, 2, 3. Let's see where they all lead to. So they all lead to jQuery. So eShop, JS, jQuery, jQuery. So if I click here, there's a function there from jQuery. This one also. They don't seem to reference any S12 here. But nonetheless, let's go to the JavaScript and look at this jQuery that we've been avoiding to see. So to help me out, I'm just going to copy this S12 because I know for a fact it's looking for that. So there must be some text like that somewhere. So I'll copy that S12. So down here on public assets eShop JS right there. Let's go to jQuery. So there's jQuery in there. I was afraid of this. Okay. So this is completely unreadable because this is the minified version of jQuery, I think. But nonetheless, let's do a search. Okay, so luckily there's no S12 there. Good. But there's a lot of JavaScript files, so it must be in one of these. Now I know Bootstrap, it can't be in there because this is a Bootstrap file, just like the other one. Let's look at this one. Okay, this is, yeah. This is also is it jQuery? Okay, so nothing in here. Good, let's move on. This is a Google Maps thing, so I doubt we'll find it here, but let's search. Nothing. HTML5, no. This one, definitely we can't find it there. jQuery, we've checked jQuery, so I doubt here as well. So what remains is price range. Oh, looky there. There's price range over here. Very nice. Why hadn't I seen this? But surprisingly, it doesn't have that element. However, I can see there's some div stuff here with the tooltip. So this is where the data has been coming from. Very nice. So we could have actually come in here and edited this to get the numbers directly from here. But anyway, no matter. It actually worked out just fine. So this is the code for that thing. But the thing is, it's not referencing our S12. So that leaves out the main JS here. So let's click on that. Oh, and immediately I can see S12. I don't even need to search. So S12 over here. So this is jQuery's way of saying select element by ID dot slider. Okay, so the slider of that element, slider data, and then it does an initialization with a color and all that stuff. Selects that RGB. Okay, so I think what's happening here is if we let's try and select, let me just duplicate this and change this to 3. That way we have 2 selectors here. Let me see where else this is being used. Yeah, I think it's just this line actually. So since we changed the other thing to 13, we should be able to grab it as well. Okay, so S12, S13. So let's give it a shot, shall we? I'll refresh. Ah, finally, look at that. Awesomeness. Now, oh, it's actually working just fine. Look at that. Let's see this one here. Oh, pretty good, pretty good. Awesome. Okay, so we managed it. Yeah, we managed it. So let's create another function to deal with the quantity, shall we? So back to slider inc. Let's go down here. And what I will do is just make sure that this 13 has a different, not price range, but quantity range. Quantity range. And let's go down here and do exactly what we did with change price range, exit price range. So this was completely unnecessary. But what we can do is duplicate this. And let's say change quantity range. There we go, change quantity range. So Everything else should remain the same. Tooltip is equal to current tooltip inner. Okay, so I think this will still work exactly the same. Wait a minute. Actually, I don't even need to make another function, because think about it. This event is based on the one that we are clicking at that time, whatever the event is that we are clicking at that time. But the issue is we are getting the minimum price and maximum price directly from the document. We are not using that. So it's possible that we may get the wrong one. But I don't want to repeat code. Anytime you can avoid repeating code, don't. So what I will do here is delete this. Let's go back up there and rearrange things a little bit differently. So I'll come up here, and the one we are getting is this element. That's the price range. So if we can put this inside the price range, then we can capture it directly. So I'll remove that and just put it in there. It doesn't matter because this is not even visible, this part. So we can put it there happily. So I will do exactly the same thing for these two guys. Let's see here. What else do I have? Form inline. I don't even need this no more. So remove that as well. Same thing. Let me move these guys into this div. So I'll punch them in a little bit like so. And then I will move this bad boy down here. Oops, not so good. It's important to avoid getting confused with these div tags here, otherwise we'll be in trouble. Let's see here. Okay. Ooh, my throat is getting dry. Okay, so what we have done here is now effectively put this inside the target here, because once we go to that JavaScript, when the JavaScript receives an event, this is the target. So we can just tell it to get whatever is inside the target that is named mean. Oh, they have different numbers as well, right? This is getting tougher by the day. What can we do though? You know what, let's put IDs here, shall we? We can put classes as well. So class form control. I think what we do here is, let me put min here. I'll just say min value like so. And then here I'll put max value like that. So my idea here is, because the minimum, both of these sections, the quantity and this, will have a minimum input and a maximum input, even though their names are different. There's mean price, max price, but here there's mean quantity, max quantity. So I don't want to interfere with that. So instead I'll give them a common class name for mean value here. Same thing here for when there's a class. Let me move a few steps. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I did that. Wow, I didn't even know. So mean price, max price. So instead of that, we're going to use mean value instead. That way we can generalize it a bit. Okay, so we have the same mean value here, mean value, max value, max value. But it will be able to know because it will follow the target. So let's go back down here. Also, at the top here, I'm just going to price range. Okay, that's okay. Quantity range as well. Okay, good. So let's go down here now and right about. So let's add an event listener for both. So I'm going to duplicate this part here. This one we are allowed to duplicate. So instead of price range, this is going to be quantity range. So let's do that, quantity range, and same thing here, change. Now, both of these on a mouse move event will call exactly the same function. That way we don't have to put two functions. But it's still going to work because we've changed from price to value here, which has generalized it on both ends, value. and both of them are found inside whatever the target is that we are hovering on. So let's see if that will actually work. So refresh. So far no problems. So if I do this, let's see now. Okay, so it isn't working. How about here? If I click search, min price, max price. Okay, so that one is working fine, but this one isn't. So why is that? So let's inspect the element and let's go to the console. Unquote, tooltip is no. Okay, so that's what it's saying there. Tooltip is no. Let's inspect the element here. So there's an event here. There's tooltip is here. So what's happening? Let me try and change this. Let me see inside it. There's tooltip there. Okay, so there's tooltip inner and tooltip arrow. Okay, I may have done something wrong. Tooltip is no. Online change price range. Let's see here. That is tooltip. Tooltip inner. No, it should actually work. So why isn't it working? Okay, so where are we trying to find the tooltip? We're trying to find it inside this current target. So back here again one more time. Let's figure this out. So that's the div. We are confident that this is inside here. Okay, that's great. And ID 13. This looks like it should work, but for some reason it isn't. So what's going on? Okay. All right, back here for a second again. Let's go to the inspector. So inside, let me just make sure that I have this right. So inspect again, and there's tooltip inner in there. It actually does exist, and when I change, it does change. So in the code, everything seems to be fine. Oh, I get it now. Sorry, my bad here. Copy this eCurrent. The reason we were doing that is to avoid using the document altogether, and paste. So what it was doing, it was getting the mean price, the first item it finds with mean value and max value, and updating those, and not going in through the target here, because it was going through the document. That should make things work now. So let me close this, because I have hope here that this is it. Oh, there we go. See? Nice. Working. And that one will change values for them. So it was changing the values for in here because I was telling it to search in the whole document and find those two values. But here I'm telling it to search inside this thing I'm hovering, the target, and also inside here. That's why it's giving proper results now. So now we can hide these two, because if I do search here, I am using those quantity values now. Let's put those quantity values over here and the price range over there. Let's see if we get any values. Do we get those values in here? In the URL they exist, max quantity and min quantity. Actually, they do exist. Low battery again.